take your time at the beginning. Don't rush, and try to do everything and just pass the evaluation. Go even with the 5K. We offer a 5K account, right? It's not big money, but it's for you to get used to the fact that you trade in someone else's capital, the trading platform, the risk parameters, set up the right risk on each individual trade. So take your time, right? Welcome everybody to another funded trader of TradethePool. Today, Florian is with me, a new funded trader with $25,000 of buying power. Thanks, Florian, for coming here.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me here.
Yes, for sure. We're gonna talk with Florian about his trading, his journey, and some insight. We're gonna hear some insights about how he passed the evaluation. This is not the first attempt, right? This is not your first evaluation.
No, it's not. I think it's the fourth one. I needed 4 attempts to begin my journey,
Yeah, and this is something that I always repeat on the other videos. I'm always saying the same thing. You need a few attempts in order to pass the evaluation. Some will do it with 1 attempt, but in most cases, traders just getting used to the fact that you're not trading your own capital, the risk parameters that you need to understand. So, yes. And it makes sense, and it's still worth it completely comparing to trading with your own account. Tell us a little bit about the difference between the previous evaluations and the one that you actually passed now.
I think in the previous challenges, I wasn't just prepared good enough. I wasn't familiar with the trading software, and I couldn't adjust my risk management in the same way I do with my paper trading. That was a little bit difficult for me to get a proper risk parameters, and it was everything a little bit new for me. It was a little bit difficult to adjust to the new surfaces. That's it. But finally, I did it. Yeah, and I have to say, in February, the small caps, I'm very much focused on small caps. It was a little bit low. And then the psychological standpoint, I was a little bit nervous. I was nervous to trade the challenge. It was totally different from a psychological point of view to trade here with in the challenge, in the evaluation. Yeah, that was a main reason actually. But I worked on it, and now it works.
That's super interesting. We'll talk about that in a second, because the mentality, as you mentioned, comparing to trading your own capital and trading the evaluation. But I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned a few things, and this is for the guys that listening right now. Take your time at the beginning. Don't rush, and try to do everything and just pass the evaluation. Go even with the 5K. We offer a 5K account, right? It's not big money, but it's for you to get used to the fact that you trade in someone else's capital, the trading platform, the risk parameters, set up the right risk on each individual trade. So take your time, right? Instead of trying to hit a home run.
I totally agree. Now I would start the journey different. I really want to start with a 5K account, just to get a better feeling how it is with the new platform, how with the new software, how it feels from a psychological side. And now I would do it a little bit different, definitely. I would start with a smaller account. Yes.
And Florian, are you trading your own capital too with a broker?
No, at the moment, no, I don't do. No.
But before that you did, right?
I know. No.
Oh, wow.
I'm new with real money. I mean, I tried to do it 1.5 years ago, but I smashed the account. Okay. Yeah.
So you had the experience of trading your own capital too?
Yes, but it was just a small account with $1,000 or $2,000.
And that was enough for you to understand, it's hard to trade your own capital, right? You're risking the money that you worked hard to save. So
yes. It's very, very, very different to paper trading, and it's very different to prop trading. Very different. The psychological side is very, very much underestimated, especially for beginners, I think. The underestimate, the same like I did, the underestimate is the pressure what's on when you're trading your own money, paper, or in an evolution phase, or as a prop trader.
Tell me a little bit about that. What's how it's different from trading your own capital and the evaluation when you need to you have a test. You need to pass the test.
The very interesting difference was the physical standpoint. I was so under tensions from a physical side when I traded my real money. Yes, the pressure was so much more heavy to me that I couldn't think free. I was totally nervous. I did things what I shouldn't have done, what I haven't done in a paper trading account, and very crazy experience, but very interesting. After that, I understood where I have to work on it. That's the psychological side of trading.
Yeah. That's amazing. And how you feel about taking a test and standing within those risk parameters, not crossing those boundaries, having a daily pause and all of that?
Yeah, risk management is the most important thing I have to learn. On a paper trading account, it's just not that serious like on an evaluation phase or with your real money. It feels always a little bit different. And in a paper trading account, I did very often things I wouldn't do. But at that moment, I learned to do the wrong things. Yeah, and then in the first evaluation, I did the same wrong mistakes I did with my real money. Yeah, and it took me a little bit time to learn. Yeah, it's totally different. It's sometimes not easy to explain, but it feels very different.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you said you've been trading for what, like a year and a half, 2 years?
About that, 2 years, 2.5 years. Yes.
Okay. So I love the fact that the opportunity given, not just for traders that been around forever and got a great track records and all, but actually guys like you, trading 2.5 years or so. Even we had traders that just started to trade like 3 months ago. And because they worked so hard on crafting their evaluation, they passed it. And it's incredible to see many new traders coming into this area of prop trading and not just professional traders. I'm going to share my screen and show you a dashboard. For those of you not familiar, every trader gets his own dashboard, and you can basically, track your stats and see the progress. Let's share it here. Alrighty. So for those of you watching it for the first time, like we said, Florian traded Flex 25K, $25,000 buying power. The Flex meaning unlimited time to pass the evaluation. That's a great feature, basically. You don't need to stress yourself on doing that. Profit target, it's 6%, so 1,500 that you need to reach. You have a max loss, a daily pause, and some consistency rules. Of course, like Florian mentioned, before you jump in, read everything, understand the rules, take the smaller account, test it, play with it. It's only $47 to start with, so it's a one-time fee. So definitely go with that instead of jumping to the bigger accounts, unless you really know what you're doing. This is an incredible chart, I gotta tell you. Your curve is really impressive. Let's talk about that in a second. 7.1 on the risk reward. That's insane. And 54% rate, that's pretty high as well. But together, the combination between those two, it's incredible. We'll talk about that in a second. So looking at your trades, mostly small caps, penny stocks, right? A lot of those. And short seller, sometimes buy, but mostly short seller. Tell us a little bit about your trading style.
I have a very discretionary trading style. I just follow the price action. I'm not using so much indicators and oscillators. I love to trade with the volume, and I love to trade with the news, and short. I love short trading. I don't know why. I try to do long. I'm not so successful long, so I focus on short trading, short setting, small caps below 15. That's how I screen it. Well, that's how I like it very much. And I use the 9 SMA, pivots, trend lines a little bit, but I prefer then the whole numbers, support and resistance. That's it. I keep it basic, I think. I don't need so much oscillators and stuff like that. And one of the most important things, of course, is the volume. Go with the volume, and then you see that.
So you said support and resistance. So you basically trade in reversals.
I like to trade reversals. Yeah, they're small caps. They always come down, or not always, but most of the time. Yeah, and that's it.
You mentioned that. How do you know it's the top, right? Everyone is asking about that. How do you know that the stock pumped already and now it's ready to dump?
I try to pass 3 different points in the charts. I need the wicks from the candles. I need a whole number, if possible, and pivot, and rewarp, or an SMA line, and with the closing of the candle. So that's it, actually. I need a combination of different points very often. That's what I prefer. I say 2p or 3p. 2p means 2 points. It's like a resistance line like that, and a whole number. And 3p would be, for example, then 3 points, the wick, the resistance line, the whole number, a pivot, or something like that. So that's an A+ setup. Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's not so special, actually.
It sounds simple, right? It sounds pretty that you got everything covered on that level. What really, very unique when I'm looking at your chart is the fact that you barely have pullbacks and the 7.1 on the risk reward. Well, tell me a little bit about that, because that's super high.
I think I have a good instinct for the timing when something is coming down. This drawdowns I saw on this lack of drawdowns, and yeah, I can't explain that so good. I think it's a kind of an instinct. I see that when something is super hot, when something is super extended, and when it's time to come down. I feel that a little bit. It's a crazy instinct.
But that is for the success rate. But for the risk reward, you actually need to close the losing position very fast. What is your trick there?
I don't want to let it come to losses. Yeah, that's it.
I'm looking at your losing trades. So you got 1 or 2 that are 85, 23, but then a lot of them you just close it kind of immediately, right? You see that it's not going to your direction, and you're out.
Yeah, once I heard a trader saying in a YouTube interview, every big loss starts with a small loss. And that line, I always kept in my back head. Every big loss starts with a small loss. So I keep it small. I keep the losses small as possible. I can re-entry later then if I want, but at that moment, I keep it small.
Yeah. And also not a lot of size, although you have 25K. Besides this one, maybe the 1,000 shares, most of them are, a few hundreds or even below that, meaning that like you said, you're not risking a lot. And that's important for consistency, just building yourself before opening that range of risk and adding more risk to your trading.
That's what I did very, very wrong in the first evaluation phases. I tried to push it. Yeah, I tried to push very quickly. I wanted to get rid of the evaluation phase. I wanted to get funded very, very quickly, but that ended up in a disaster. I oversized too much, and it worked out a little bit, but then I lost the money, and then I wanted to have the money back, and then I was damaged. Yeah, very, very quickly I was thinking that. The last evaluation, I was really thinking a lot. I have time now. I don't need under time pressure. I have this time I can do as long as I want, and then just give it time. But in this time it worked out very quickly. I needed just 10 trading days to finish the evaluation phase.
Once you change a few tweaks and your mentality, understand that you have the time and not pushing it, then it's much easier to pass the evaluation.
Right, totally right. Yes. But the last times I failed was in a week or in 10 days. I could have done easier, but I wanted to get it done quickly. That's kind of a little bit of my personality. I want to get things done quickly. Yeah, and sometimes it needs a little bit more patience, especially in trading. And this time I said, hey, I have the time. It's cool. I don't need to rush. I don't need to hurry up so quickly. Just give it time. And it worked out quickly this time.
That's amazing. Congrats again on this achievement. I'm sure you're happy about it, and it's a relief, right? After you're trying a few attempts and then you pass it.
Yes, super. It feels bombastic. It's just cool. When I then became the email, I was so happy on Friday. I was going out and having fun, and it was really cool.
Amazing. That's great to hear. Florian, thanks so much for all the insights. The guys at home that want to check us out, go to tradethepool.com. maybe you will be the next funded trader. And yeah, best of luck on the funded account. Hopefully we'll reach the payout, and we'll do another interview and talk a little bit about that and see the differences between the evaluation and the funded account. So yeah, thanks you, Florian.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care for now. Bye-bye.